From Lagos, the nation's commercial capital, this is the news at 10, live from Channels Television. Reporting tonight,
Ijoma Oyato.
Hello and welcome. Tonight, Federal Executive Council condemns twin explosions in Jos. Service chiefs and Inspector General of Police investigate bombing. Nigerian Army recruits volunteer soldiers for rescue of abducted Chibok girls. Fresh Boko Haram attacks in 2 Borno villages claim about 47 lives. And former Egyptian President Hosni Mubarak and his 2 sons convicted for embezzlement of public funds. Doors to investors in the areas of agriculture and housing.
And on sports news tonight, protests dominate the headlines in Brazil as demonstrators storm exhibition of the World Cup trophy in Belém.
Speaker of the House of Representatives, Aminu Tambuwal, lashes out at Boko Haram sect, says the actions are un-Islamic. Borno State has continued to bear the brunt of heavy gunfire from the radical sect Boko Haram, as yet again 2 villages were hit by the group today, leaving 47 people dead. While 30 are said to have died in Shawa, 17 are reported killed in Anagano. Well, these attacks are coming barely 24 hours after twin explosions ripped through a market on a railway terminal in central Jos. According to eyewitnesses, the attack in Shawa village occurred in the early hours of today when gunmen crept upon sleeping villagers, shooting and setting houses on fire with petrol bombs. Eyewitness accounts say that the suspected Boko Haram members arrived close to midnight, killed and looted for hours before leaving in stolen vehicles. A survivor says that every single building in the village has been burnt down. Anagano is near Chibok, from where schoolgirls were abducted last month. And while Borno is still burning, the residents of Jos are counting their losses, with the death toll of the twin explosions rising to 75. But the emergency agencies put that figure at 118. Among those who visited the scene today was the Inspector General of Police, Muhammad Abubakar, who told newsmen in Jos that the explosions are being investigated.
It's been 24 hours since this area in Jos came under a twin bomb attack. The death toll in the twin explosion in Jos has risen to 75. That's according to the Plateau State Police Commissioner, Chris Olakpe.
I was passing to buy these some shirts that's along the wayside. So on the process of buying the shirts, the clothes is where it just happened. Just like a dream, what you don't expect, It just happened like that.
Most of them are being taken to theater and some of them are out of the theater. And all of them are being stabilized. Some are transfused. The management has been very commendable. We also received those that died at the scene of the accident. And we received about 22 corpses just in our teaching hospital. The mortuary on our side. These 22 include 2 children.
After the initial confusion, fear, and the billowing smoke that greeted the attack, some surviving traders and residents have started arriving in the area to see what can be salvaged.
Maybe we are connected to lock some people's shops, because I see some people who are entering inside the shop, locking themselves inside the shop and try to pack people's goods. But what I'm doing there, anywhere I just see my live people with their shops open, go there, still walk, lock the shop, carry the key, lock the shop, carry the key. But yesterday I keep on doing it, stress and exhausted because some of my friends put their leg and cut off. Many people have died. So I got exhausted yesterday, so I decided to go.
Among the early callers today also is the Inspector General of Police with some hope-rising messages.
We as security agency will do everything humanly possible to mark those who committed this disciplinary act, and no government can tolerate this kind of situation anywhere in the world.
Business and trading for these lucky ones won't start just yet, as the affected area is still cordoned off. But what has started and will continue for any discerning mind is the strong condemnation of such crime against the innocent.
And for the Federal Executive Council, it's been an attack too many, and the government frowns on the cruel, senseless killing of innocent Nigerians by the sect. The federal government also reassured Nigerians that the challenges of today will certainly be surmounted.
The level of destruction in Jos is yet to be ascertained. A lot of lives have been lost. The Federal Executive Council today condemned this bombing and the one that took place in Kano only 2 days before. The continuing bombing that is going on, which is absolutely senseless and destructive, underlines again the need for all of us in this country to come together and unite to confront the attack of terror on our country. Council commended the President for his effort to build a regional coalition of all the countries in the West African sub-region to confront the evil of terrorism. We received reports also that following the meeting in France, it's been agreed that all the countries in the sub-region, including Cameroon, are coming together to form a joint center for intelligence sharing on the activities of terror groups across the sub-region. We continuously appeal that in the end, the war against terror is a Nigerian war. It is our cooperation that will defeat it. It is our understanding that will isolate the evil. It is the unity of purpose in the country that will lead to victory over terrorism. Whether terrorism will be here for a while, like was asked, we pray not. We pray we are able to summon the cooperation of all Nigerians, all the stakeholders in the country, to be able to work together to expose the network of terror and defeat it early enough.
Minister of Information, Labaran Mako. Now, staying with the Jos bombing, and the United States Embassy has condemned the multiple bomb blasts in Plateau and the bombing in Sabongeri neighborhood of Kano. The embassy says that the vicious attacks on Nigerian civilians and the abduction of the Chibok girls are terrible acts. The embassy says such acts demonstrate the criminality of the perpetrators who continue to target defenseless citizens. It adds that the embassy has seen reports that tensions are high in Jos, and it's joining the voices of those who are appealing for calm. In the meantime, more calls are being made for Nigerians to work together to fight the insurgency here in the country. The former anti-graft chairman Mallam Nuhu Ribadu has asked Nigerians to come together to find a lasting solution to the killings. While the other APC leaders, that's the former military head of state Muhammadu Buhari and Bola Tinubu, believe there is a need to re-strategize to end the attacks. Well, they spoke to our political correspondent today at a political event in Ekiti State.
All of us will have to come together, put politics aside, put any division aside, and understand that we have evil in front of us. We have a tragedy. We have extremists, mad people who are attacking us indiscriminately, killing our people left, right, and center. They don't know who is a child and who is an adult. They don't know who is a woman and who is a man. They don't know who is a Christian, who is a Muslim. They don't know who is a southerner or a northerner. They don't know nothing. Theirs is to kill, to maim, to destroy.
every parent of those over 200 children, I wonder how they go to bed and I wonder how they wake up, because they are not sure what is happening to their children. And Nigeria, as I said, with its human and material resources, for the government to allow such a thing to happen of that proportion, I think has said volumes of the incompetence of the government.
It's not effective. That is why you still having these incidents. We cannot locate the girls still. We still have bombings. So the state of emergency declared is not as effective as it ought to have been. Every option must be considered.
Like you working together with the PDP to do this?
I mean, we've offered advice and we are ready to equally work with them.
Now let's stay with some security matters, and as part of efforts to curb the activities of the insurgents, the Nigerian Army has announced plans to recruit soldiers who will form part of the force to engage insurgents in the northeast and other parts of the country. Addressing a news conference in Abuja today, the Director of Army Public Relations, Brigadier General Olajide Lalore, says the new soldiers will be trained extensively to curb all forms of insurgency in the country.
As part of the annual manpower requirement of the Nigerian Army, there will be a recruitment exercise of qualified, able-bodied Nigerian men into the Nigerian Army. The exercise has since commenced with online registration of all interested persons and it will terminate on the 21st of June 2014. The Nigerian Army is fighting a war on terrorism. The Boko Haram terrorist is allied with the Al-Qaeda in the Maghreb and other extreme terrorist organizations in neighboring countries. The war on terrorism is a global war that invokes citizens' civic responsibility. Every Nigerian citizen has a role to play in this war. Similarly, the Nigerian media have a role in this war. I say that there is no country in the world that diminishes its armed forces. There is none. The media in those countries uphold their national security first. Unfortunately, it appears that a section of our media derides our national security. If a section of our media and sympathizers of the Boko Haram terrorists propagate the invincibility of the terrorists, I ask the question, so to whose good does it achieve?
Now in part two, after the break, Nigerian Union of Teachers threatened to shut down all schools in protest of the abducted schoolgirls. So that's coming up in a moment. You stay with us.